questions. Edward, I'm a demon. Demons aren't really a thing.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2023 horror thriller Nefarious. The film is directed by Chuck Konzelman and Carey Solomon, and it stars Sean Patrick Flanery and Jordan Belfair. Now the film focuses on a prisoner played by Sean Patrick Flanery, who on the day of his execution is due to be executed at 11 p.m. that night. However, he has to be evaluated by a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist has to deem him sane enough to allow the execution to take place. So the psychiatrist had to sit down with him, have a session with him, and determine whether he is sane or not. However, when he meets this prisoner turns around and claims that he's in fact a demon. And by the end of the day, he wants to be executed, and he also predicts that the psychiatrist, Dr. James Martin, will have committed 3 murders. Right. What are my thoughts on Nefarious? Well, this is one of those films that really pleasantly surprises you. There's nothing about it seems spectacular. When you read the synopsis, when you look at the poster, bits of it sound, there's potential here, and then quite a lot of the times I'll put a film on hoping that it'll live up to its potential and then be disappointed ultimately. Well, I'm pleased to announce that this one actually follows through and exceeded my expectations, if I'm being particularly honest. This film was very, very effective and thought-provoking. And a lot of different things. You know, people could watch this film and look at it from a political angle. People could watch this film and look at it from a religious angle. Or you could watch this film and see it, as I saw it, as a brilliant character piece that gets the brain cells a-cooking and keeps you absolutely enthralled and intrigued from pretty much minute 1 right through to the conclusion. This, for me, I love movies like this, where you give an actor, for example, like Sean Patrick Flanery, who, you look at his filmography, he's a name you recognise, he's a face you kind of recognise, he's done a few bits and pieces over the years, but he's never what you would call leading man status. But he's been given the opportunity here to prove that he's an actor. And my God, he grasps this part with both hands and delivers a knockout performance as this prisoner who claims to be a demon, and he calls himself Nefarious. But it's also a dual role, because the effectiveness of this film, and almost like the hook of this film, is he or isn't he? Is he a demon or isn't he? Is he just someone with a split personality? Because you see that in these sessions with a psychiatrist. You see the person coming out. Is this that real person? And then is this Nefarious another personality? You could see how anybody with a medical qualification would come to that conclusion. And he does come to that conclusion, this psychiatrist. But then things start happening that makes him question his own sanity and question whether, is this guy telling me the truth? Is he actually something else? Is he a demon? And as you see this perfectly rational psychiatrist question himself, because he starts this film off being very cool, calm, and professional, and then you see him crumbling as the film goes on to various degrees. When he's confronted by Nefarious, as he calls himself, this demon, with facts that he finds very, very difficult to refute. It's a bit like, well, how does he know this about me? And then there's other things that happen later in the film that kind of answers them questions. So then it gets to the point in the film where you think, well, there must be a demon. There's something supernatural going on here. There has to be. And then it flips it again. It's like, oh, right, okay, well, maybe he isn't. Maybe he's just done this or done that. And you don't really get any of the answers you seek until the very end of the film, really, the last 10 minutes of the film, something like that, 15 minutes. But the film is so watchable up to that point. Sometimes you'll watch these films and it goads you and baits you, and it just gets to the point where you're just so frustrated you lose interest. And this one, for me, just didn't do it, because it's just such a wonderful character piece. Yes, there are other people in this film, but 80% of this film is just two characters sat down in a cell talking. One claiming to be a demon, and the other one a psychiatrist trying to determine whether he is sane or not to go through the execution. The authorities, the warden at the prison, they're all desperate for him to claim that say he's sane so that he can be executed. But the things he's coming out with, how can he declare him sane? So it puts him almost in an impossible position. He doesn't know whether he's coming or going, and this Nefarious absolutely plays him like a fiddle for the whole film. And you as an audience member as well, you're being played like a fiddle by Nefarious, because you're questioning what's going on. I have to say, I'm not sure Sean Patrick Flannery will get another part like this, but I salute him and I applaud him, because I always appreciate actors when they're given a role to get their teeth into, to prove their talent. And this film, for me, proved Sean Patrick Flannery's talent, because these days you only really see him in mainly low-budget stuff, and this is not what I would call high-budgeted film. It is a fairly low-budget film, but it doesn't need to be high-budget. You don't need anything, really, other than a really good script, two really good actors, which we have here, both Sean Patrick Flannery and Jordan Belfair, who plays the psychiatrist, just going at it with each other, batting the conversation back and forth, and you're right there with the pair of them. 1 minute you're completely convinced about Sean Patrick Flannery's nefarious comments, about the things he's saying. The next 10 minutes you're really on board with the psychiatrist, and you just back and forth throughout the whole film. You really do seesaw, and it's a very, very smart and intelligent film. I suspect some people will watch this and find it frustrating, but if you like good performances, good acting, a really good script, and a film that'll really get the grey matter going, and by the end of it, you'll just feel, when the film's finished, you'll just feel like you've just watched something a little bit different, a little bit original, and really good, actually. I would definitely suggest that you guys check this out. If any of it sounds interesting to you, it's a very, very different way, different twist of doing a film like this, like a potential possession film, or whatever you want to call it. We've seen these sort of films done to death, really, and I'm always crying out for some level of originality these days. This absolutely gives it, and it gives me something that I absolutely love. In a genre film like this, it's not that often that you get to see knockout performances. Even in big budget stuff, sometimes you've really got to struggle. Sometimes you get really powerful stuff, like in Hereditary and all that kind of stuff. And Sean Patrick Flannery deserves to get bigger and better roles just off the back of this performance, because I thought he was outstanding. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review. I'll be back with more content on the channel very, very soon.